All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us on this rainy Friday. Sorry about the pauses as I let people in. So sorry. So we're going to be talking about using buttons, designing buttons. So focus is in Canvas, but really you can use buttons or badging. And anyway, so we'll talk about how to add that in Canvas and a little bit about designing those. So sorry, guys. So a little bit about when I'm saying buttons, what am I talking about? So in my mind, I'm thinking of a button as kind of like an image or something that you can link and it'll take you to another location. So sort of like a hyperlink, but in this case, we're talking about linking it to another page in Canvas so that it's keeping your kids in there and it's helping them navigate. So if you've used any of the CNI templates, you may have seen them like these are buttons, and you might have yellow, blue, red. So those are buttons, but I've had some really great teachers share some ways that they're using them, and it kind of came up in Nicole and Sam's PD on the Teacher Connect last Friday, like ways for your kids to be successful, and navigation and clear information is part of that. And so we've seen, had some teachers share some of the really great ways that they're using these. And so Jessica Stetler at McLaughlin, she kind of has like this class theme. So she designed nice buttons that go along with that across her course. Sorry. Melissa Dees out at Rockfish, she has shared on her homepage, she created these buttons, and you think about that information, to contact her or new students. So when you click on that, it takes them to another location within Canvas. And then shout out to Danae at Upchurch. I saw she joined us today. I love her fall themed calendar, and that's really nice when you click on the, like today's the 15th, you click on the 15th and it will take you to where your assignments start for that day. So we're going to explore a couple of different ways that we can use those buttons. But thank you, ladies, so much for sharing that and being super creative with your kids. So when we're talking about buttons and images, we want it to be more than something pretty. Like it is nice to go, I know, go Simmons, right? It is nice, like, sorry, I'm letting people in, you guys. When you add those images, it does make your course like appealing and like, makes kids feel good to be there versus just text. But we want it to be a little bit more than that. When you're adding your image, we want you to be thinking about when they click this, if I'm adding it to be a button, where is it going to take them to in the course? So like, where are some places that your kids need to go and images that can help get them back and forth other than using those buttons on the side, right? So the image linking to the location and that being clear to students so that when they click on it, like if they click on me for Meet the Teacher, it takes it to another page. So this is another image from that I made in a Google Draw, right? I just typed in that this was a text box, typed in, brought in some pictures and Bitmojis. And then these right here are text boxes. I just made the border visible. So all I did was take a screenshot of that from Google Draw and upload it. So that's an image, but it's not a button because it doesn't link to something else. But sometimes when you're designing in Canvas, it doesn't, I can't get it this pretty within Canvas, but I can get it to do that in a Google Draw and screenshot that image to make your course look nice. So when we're talking about navigation, when we've been on the phone with parents or some students and they're showing us stuff like, I need to get somewhere in my course, and when they go back to the whole module view, we see them kind of clicking like, I think I was right here, but then they have to go back, they hit previous or next to get to where they ended. Or parents are calling and they're saying like, I need help figuring out maybe how to edit this Google assignment. And when they're trying to get to it, they're having a little bit of a hard time figuring out where to start and end with their kids. So buttons can help with that. And these teachers that we're going to talk about, others are doing it, but these have came up with some really creative ways and super cute. So again, here's Danae's. This is a great idea. So when you click on the calendar, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this. When you click on the calendar link, it'll take you to where they need to be in the module. Right, so this is Miss Santamore out at East Hogue. I thought she was doing a great job. So when it takes them to this start page, having a daily checklist of what they're going to do for the day with you. And then I thought you could also maybe add some icons here So I know when I'm talking about sales today or learning about sales, I'm going to have to read, I'm going to watch a video, and then I'm going to have to do an assignment about what the most important organelle. So that little checklist that it's taking you, when I click the date, that's now a button because it's taking me to a page within Canvas where I can start my day. So let's go look at that live in a Canvas course. So I'm going to go to student view real quick. Right, and then this would be the home page. Okay, so when kids scroll down like we saw, you click on meet the teacher, and that's a button because it takes you to this. This is not a button because this is just an image that I've uploaded. Some teachers have even added at the bottom like a little home page so that kids can click it once they get to the bottom instead of having to come back up here to the top. So maybe just think about some issues your kids, like what information are they constantly asking me for, or where they get hung up, and maybe a button can help clear up some of that. Also, this is how the calendar, so whatever you would put for your, and I didn't put assignments, I put daily tasks because I was thinking about it's not just assignments here, it's content and things for them to do. And then Danae did that really cute fall theme, so I said I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to do the October. So this was a simple Google search, and then I just kind of blocked out with on my Google drawing to get the bat for these symbols, right? And then you click today, so here's Monday's work that we're just talking about. And so there's my checklist. Okay, I'm gonna have a text and a video and assignment, and then there it is. Okay, there's my text, there's my video, and there's my assignment, so that when I get to the end, we've seen some teachers, and I apologize, I could not recall the name of who this was shared with, but they're showing like mission accomplished. So it's not a badge, right? Like a badge might be at the end of a unit or a learning target, but you don't want a badge every day because then, you know, you want them to work a little bit for that. So this is a great way, especially when they're working with parents. I saw my start page with my agenda, and now I know this is I'm done with, this is the content for today. So that's some really cool ways teachers have helped some of their kids navigate, and it's been really cool to see the stuff that you guys have came up with. So that's kind of the button. So let me go back in here, and at the end I'm going to share some resources. So there'll be a couple of times I jump live in Canvas. When you get access to this slide deck, if you click right here, it'll replay what we just looked at so you can see what we just went through there. So when we're talking about buttons and navigation, what are some information we could add to that? So Melissa Dees came up with some really great ideas. So a new student page, right? Like if we're in the classroom and we get a new kid, there are things that we need to share with them. So she created a new students click here, and it's kind of that little speech or what they need to know to be successful when they come in now that school has started. Link to Zoom info. So you don't want to share the URL. We're asking kids to go through the app because then they can put their first and last name for you guys. If they go through the URL, it doesn't let them edit that very easily. So you can share like maybe your schedule there or in your meeting ID. Some get to know and contact you, like when we're on the phone with kids and we're saying like this, you know, let your teacher know this is happening. They just sometimes struggle with how to get your email address. I know you guys have shared it a million ways. It's just, you know, so much information coming at us. So she added a contact, and then like I said, Liz shared that. I think she's calling it an agenda, but was just a great idea for a start point, and then those teachers come up with those endpoints to help your kids navigate and know what's going on, where to start, where to go, where to end in your course. So now how do we do this? How do we make these badges and buttons? So there's a couple of different ways, and it's really about your preference. So some things I do, a Google search, right? Like you can search so much. Someone asked earlier, can we use Clipart? I mean, like if you find that, it can go in your courses. If you don't want to design yet, like I'm just not there, I don't have time or whatever the reason, a simple Google search can find some of the stuff that you're looking for. I have a Google Draw that I just named photo editing, and these are open resources here. You'll see there's a Clipart link in there. So I shared this. It will force you to make a copy. If I'm answering people's emails, a lot of times I'll put some screenshots in here. So if you make a copy when I'm answering an email, there may be something in it. After you make a copy, delete that out. It's yours. These students have boys and girls in it, but I just kind of drag it over, and then I can take a screenshot and upload it to where I need it to go. And we're going to explore Canva a little bit. I don't know if you guys we sent an email out I think beginning of the year when everything was coming at you, but because we have the educator email, we get Canva Educator for free, and there are so many images in there. So let me go show you a little bit about Canva. So once you link your account for an educator account, you would go to create a design, and then these are dimensions here. So look across the bottom as well. So I'm thinking about a badge or a button. It's not a huge thing like a banner. So you could do something like the size of a business card or a logo. So I'm just going to click logo. We want something small here. And then this is where it gets fun. And I'm not even, I wish I was artsy. I'm a little bit jealous of some of my teammates. They are super, super creative, right? This kind of helps a little bit with that though, so I can catch up to them. But like, let's think about if you're a music teacher, right? Like if you're thinking about buttons, it doesn't have to be themed to like a season, right? Like if you want to do your calendar be the same every month with music icons, that's totally cool. And you can click that and change the color up here, right? All these things are editable if you are, I think I saw a art teacher come in, all kind of things that you can use to create buttons and calendars in your course. And because I've linked to our educator account, these things are free. So let's go through the process of maybe creating a button. So one thing I was thinking of too, so I'm going to go science because that's what I taught. So it doesn't always have to be like I had bats for the whole calendar, right? Like let's say for these days, I'm talking about solar system. So you can have maybe solar system images for a little bit, and then I'm talking about landforms. So kind of your images in your calendar kind of correspond with what you're about to teach, just to get their brain going. So let's say if we're talking about going to space, I'm just going to do science. Let me delete that real quick. So we're talking about going to space. So like maybe a rocket ship and a planet. There we go. Okay, and then just like we can with most other, like our Google Docs or anything, you can change that position and move things to the front or back, right? Tilt them, you can, move those around. Let's say if you're, you might be creating a badge, or if you just like a little background to that, right? Throw that to the back, and I'm gonna make that blends in too much, so let's change that color. So you could download something like that. So if you don't care about the background, you can do a quick screenshot, but you see how that has the white space around it. So if I have that white space and I go to put it like on a red background, I'll be able to see that block. So Google Draw and Canva allows you to download as a PNG, and then that image becomes transparent so that you don't have that white space. It's just the image that you designed. So download that. And then we'll show you how to upload that into Canvas. But when you're downloading, pay attention to where that saves to, because that's the hardest thing when I'm trying to upload an image, trying to find, is it on my desktop? Is it in my downloads? Is it in my Google Drive? So knowing where your pictures are really helps that process go quickly. So you would just click download, and then that image is there. Also, you don't just have images, right? So here's that wreath. So I think Danae had like a cute wreath, and she put her days of the week in there, right? So now you also have fonts in here. So here's a nice one. And then you would resize that. And then you'll have to learn a couple of little tricks. I have a note that someone's in the waiting room, to ask them to make sure that they're in the right place. I don't have a notification about someone in the waiting room. Ask them to check that. And you'll see that text, like, we don't want Monday to the new year. So just learning to play around with things like grouping and ungrouping these to get your text. And I recorded all of this, like walking you through these. There'll be a video if you want to go back and revisit as you're designing. That will be there as well. And you would download, and now you could add those to our Canvas course. So let me go show you how easy. To me, the designing part's the hard part. Once you have them, you're really good after that. So let me jump back, and we can talk about how to get those in our Canvas course. right? So this was designing, or if you don't want to design, Google and find the image that you like. So then once you have it, you want to upload it and link in the Canvas. So I'm going to go back and do that live. I just wanted to show you that there is a video to help you guys with this part. If you've got designing down, this part will be easy. So let me leave student view. And we're going to go try to kind of redo this home page, right? I want this to be our finished product. So I created a page for the 130 group. Okay, and you see I've got the front part, but we don't have the buttons at the bottom. So what we want to do is go to Edit. And make sure you pay attention to where your cursor is. If I put my cursor up here and I go to inserting, wherever my cursor is, that's where what I'm adding is going to be. So I'm going to click this image so I can make sure I'm after it. And then I'm going to go to images up here at the top right. And I want to upload a new image. So, let me back up for a second. Got ahead of myself. I personally I can't get things to line up good in Canvas. So the way that I cheat around that is I'm create a table and then I get rid of the border. So I am going to need a Meet the Teacher column and a calendar column. So I want my words to go up here and my pictures here. So kind of mapping out ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to add 3 buttons to do something. So then I'll need a place for 3 buttons and the 3 words. So I'm going to add my table down here. Meet the teacher. Calendar of tasks. And I want to highlight this. I like all of my stuff to go in the middle. All right, now we're back here. Images, so I'm gonna choose my file, right? And for this, I just want like maybe a picture of me or a Bitmoji of these. So think about where that's saved on your computer. This one will be fine. And then there it is right in there, right? And you can click it and play around with the size of it. So once that image is in there, once that image is in there, right, then you want to come back up because now we've got the image, but it's got the link to something in our account to make it a button. So there it is. And I want it to link to the page that's telling them about me so that they can meet me. So it's right up there, link it to the page and stuff within Canvas. And now when I save that, and go check the size. So like that could be a little bit smaller, but look, when I click there, boom. Now it's where they need to be. And now you could add another home button there and it takes them back to that. But I'm just going to use this for now. And let's go look at then that calendar, right? Because this was the simple one. Let's go look at the calendar one. So this is our 130 group. All right, so we're back in here. We're going to go to image. And let me show you, so we went through upload an image a second ago. Let's say that the image is in here. I've used it on another page. You don't have to re-upload them over and over, right? So there's my calendar. And I'm going to link that to my page that I've called Calendar of Daily Tasks. Now be careful with the naming. I only have one in here right now. If I make a new calendar for each month, right, I might need to have a different page name here, and I would have to update that link every new month. So you could redo the same calendar and just delete the stuff and put new stuff in, or you can make a new calendar page for every month. So that's whatever your preference is. So I'm going to link that to my Calendar of Daily Tasks. And the last thing I want to show you is I don't like that border there. So I don't want people to know that I cheated to get my stuff to line up smoothly. So highlight your table right here in this little drop down, and you would go to table properties and just get rid of that border. And I saw that when I did that, I need to put my stuff back in the middle. There we go. So save this. And there we go. Now we've got that, and you can't tell what was used to get that stuff in the right space on the page. And now when you click it, it takes you where you want to go. And then the calendar was the same way. It's a table. And I just clicked inside the cell and added the little bat picture. And you can see the bat is the same thing from here. I just used Google Draw to kind of cut that stuff out. So at the end, I'm going to talk about if you want someone to just talk through some design ideas, there are ways that you can get up with me. If you say, I got 10 or 15 minutes, we can kind of tweak some things or find what you're looking for and get you ready to go. But it's just uploading that into your course and then linking it at the top of that page, right? Just clicking link, and then where, or do you want to take it to a quiz? Do you want to take them to a page? So like right here on my calendar, you see, let me go to 12. That's a picture, and I just linked it to, I would have the page called, see, instead of Monday 10:05, Monday 10:12, and that's my start page for the day. And now that's where that will take them to. Okay, so that's creating those links. Again, that video's there if you want to refer back to that at the end of things. And then let's give, if you know Mary Haywood, or even if you don't, send her a big air hug or an email. When I sent this out that this is what we were doing, she said, hey, I've already designed a bunch of buttons. So if you're not wanting to design, but you want to start linking stuff, she has said that this I could share with you guys. So if you want to go to that bit.ly right there, bit.ly, actually, let me put it in the chat too. There we go. I'm putting that in the chat there, that bit.ly or in the chat. So that's a resource page. The link to that folder is on there, and they're already transparent, so you can start plugging those in. So thank you so much, Mary, for sharing those with us. That was super generous of you. And let me just take you to that page really quick to walk you through some of this. So we've got the slide deck from today with the videos in it, and there's that bit.ly again. You've got the link to Canva. And right here is the information to link your HCS account to get that pro stuff and all those free pictures. And if you just want some extra ideas, like what does it mean, Canva for education, or ways to use Canva outside of buttons and badging, here is that Google Draw, right? So that's this. So right now, if you got it, I was responding to an email about how to get, telling a teacher, yeah, you can see who was in your Zoom today for attendance. So I sent him that, but you can just drag this stuff in there to use. So that's shared with you guys. It'll prompt you to make a copy when you get it so that we're not editing the same one. Here's the videos. Like if I went live in Canvas, here's what we saw while I was there. And it's also in the slide deck. There's the link to the buttons that Mary shared with us. Thanks so much for that. And then lastly, this session follow-up. So you're going to get the half-hour CEUs today, but you can come back to that. And if you say like, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment to chat about button design, or hey, can you show me how to link, or really anything. If you just want some time to chat, if you click this one, it'll take you to a page, and you just let me know when you're free, and I'll confirm that in the email. Or if you say like, hey, I've done this work and I've added buttons, if you will come to this one and let me know, and it'll just say, hey, what course did you do it in, and tell me about your buttons. I'll go jump in and take a look, and I'll bump this up from a half hour to get the full hour CEU if you've got buttons in your course. So come back to that if you would like to bump up to that hour CEU. And then of course, information to connect with us. So I think it was Miss D's had on her way, if like you have tech support or need tech support, and she shared some of our information, feel free to put that in your Canvas course. And all of these Teacher Connect sessions will be on our YouTube channel. So a lot of information in there. If you need to shoot me an email to clarify anything, feel free to do that. But I really appreciate you guys joining us on this Friday. Let's check how we did on time. Oh, really, really good. I know it's Friday, so if you have any questions, throw those in the chat or ask me. I can hang out for a little bit if you need me to redo anything, show you something again. I'll be here for a little bit longer. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Make sure you get the NISA's code, register to get CEUs. Thank y'all. Thanks so much, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be here for a little bit. Okay. Feel free to ask that in the chat or out loud, whichever one you prefer.
Okay, I'll ask out loud. So I don't have access, of course, I told you that, to
Hmm.
Rapid Identity. So thank you for the backdoor access to Canvas.
Yeah, no problem.
I can start, right, I can start meshing a lot of stuff that I've heard with the visual now.
Hmm.
Um, this weekend is going to be my work period of really understanding Canvas, but I have no idea where to start.
Okay.
And since I don't have the front door to go in and click on nieces or other trainings, where do I start
Okay,
with?
that's a good question. Have you done any of the those summer courses? There was one on Canvas, like getting started in Canvas.
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me send you that.
Okay.
Um, there was one on that. There's one on like student support with COVID. I think there was two or three we had to do, but one of them is on helping you understand. Like I think it's called Growing with Canvas. Sorry, I had to wait for it to come to me. Growing with Canvas.
Okay.
And that was a nice way to start. Like it kind of walks you through all the little things and it kind of shows you, and then you get to practice in like a training playground. So we will send you that as soon as I get off the phone. We will set that up and you will get an invite to that course. And at the end of all that too, there's an artifact that you can submit with like screenshots that like, here's where I set my homepage, here's where I added an assignment. Like after you take a screenshot of that stuff, it'll give you a big chunk of CEUs because it is a lot of work setting up a Canvas course, but that'll kind of walk you through it. So we will share that with you as soon as we get off here.
Okay. No problem. And via email, right?
Let me ask Jake, how would that come through that Growing with Canvas? They'll get an email if they're doing the Growing with Canvas course to get where they have to submit the artifact. They need an invite to that, and it'll come in an email. Yes, ma'am, through email. And Dakota, I see that for you as well. So we will get those sent out to you guys.
Okay.
Yep, I got that down. That'll be coming shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
Not a problem. Got you as well, Francis. Cool. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. If you come across any other questions, feel free to send us or me an email. And Charmaine, Dakota, and Francis will be sending you guys something shortly. And thanks so much for hanging out with us.